welcome to Find It on this Wednesday evening, the night before Thanksgiving. And what do I have to be grateful for? What do I have to be thankful for? Well, my daughter's here. I'm actually at her place. So hang tight and we'll bring Tori on after her video.
She can't figure it out. Here, give it to me so I can put it on.
Hello and welcome to Find It. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are here the night before Thanksgiving. I am in Tori's apartment building and we are ready to roll. We actually were laughing because it's like, we've been so busy. She's been busy, I've been busy, and we're like, oh my gosh, what's our topic?
Yeah. We don't have one, really.
We don't really have one. So if you guys want to ask us questions or something as we're having a conversation. Yeah, could you do our job for us and just ask us questions so we can get on a topic? No, really. But it's true. We really don't have a specific topic. But as in mother-daughter fashion, we always have something to talk about or make fun of. So I got to tell you guys this. I feel like I need to get closer to the screen. Like, can you hear me okay?
Give a little scooch.
Give a little scooch. So we are going to host Thanksgiving at her place. And my parents are coming up tomorrow and it's a whole thing. Well, preparing and getting ready and making recipes together is a whole like nerve pills now.
So first of all, last year at this time, I hosted Thanksgiving up here for just the four of us.
Right.
So it was just my brother, mom, and dad.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was real chill.
And Bambi.
I loved it. And Bambi. And Omi. But Omi was in the crate. Because she was still a little puppy. So that was cool, chill. I wasn't as stressed last year. Because
it's not stress. My parents are so low maintenance.
So it's not the fact. So I've said this. Every time I think about this, it impresses me, really. My grandma was like 17 when she got married, which that's
cradle robber.
That's Southern Ohio, if I've ever heard of it. And she was 17, and then she hosted her first Thanksgiving and made all the food at 17. I think I couldn't wipe my butt at 17. And like she did that at 17. I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. She did all
because
that.
This is
and I was in charge of desserts, okay, and some other things, but mostly dessert.
Yeah.
And I had a whole bunch of pies, and my grandpa's diabetic, so I thought
he's got diabetes.
I'm like he's diabetes. He's got his diabetes. So I thought, okay, I will make a sugar-free chocolate pie.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
this is what I hear. Okay, so I'm like, I carted all the stuff up here because, I mean, she's a law student living in an apartment. She doesn't have all the stuff and all the, utensils that you need and the cheese cutter.
I don't host in my 500 square foot apartment.
And,
obviously.
the pretty dishes and, the things, right? So I'm like 2 Hawkins deep, filled gut. I had so much stuff in my car. I forgot my clothes. I don't have any of my toiletries. I don't have any of my clothes. So I get here and I'm just like, oh, I'm really tired. I think I'm going to take like a little cat nap. I'm just going to lay down. This is what I hear. Oh, this isn't going right. Oh, I didn't fully read the directions. Oh, Mom, this isn't good. Mom, it's not good. I'm like, and she's like, come taste this. I'm dairy free.
So I'm mixing this. I can't have any of it and taste how it tastes because I can't have gluten or dairy. So I'm mixing it. And as I'm reading the instructions, it says you need to use an electric whisk because it's so thick. I didn't read the directions. I read what I needed to buy.
The ingredients.
Bought it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can do it. And then I thought, I'm fine. I'll be fine. So
I hear, I'm sweating. I got to switch arms. And then I hear, well, first it was Siri, how many cups in a pint?
I didn't get enough heavy whipping.
And then and then she didn't have enough cream. And then she's like, can I use? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm just getting up. And then she's like, taste this. I can't have it because I'm dairy free. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Tori, it's been, and then all I wanted to do was make my grandpa a sugar-free pie. And so this is how our day started. Now we're here.
Yeah.
but it's okay. It's all good. Kim, oh, what's a cheese cutter? Cheese slicer. A knife specifically to cut cheese. That's what I'm trying to say. Thanks, cuz. Get it straight, Debbie. Yeah. So just like, because I'm making a charcuterie board. So you just don't want to be like, you want your cheese to look nice, right?
Right.
So, right. Whatever.
Yeah.
So we're going to have it up here and host. And my parents are the most laid back people ever.
Yeah.
They're so appreciative to anything that you do for them. And their dad has not been, mom has been here.
Yeah. So grandma, how old is she now? 82. So since she was 17, she's been doing Thanksgiving for everybody else until really now.
Yeah.
So imagine doing that. I just want to make sure that she is like not having
that she can just roll in and just enjoy it and not look like, oh, these girls don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it'll all be good. We're going to bake the turkey. We're going to do all the stuff. We'll probably have a late night tonight, and then it's going to be an early dinner so they can travel up here and we can all sit and have a nice time, and hopefully they'll stay for a little while. I don't know about your parents, but mine are like in and out. They don't hang very long. Mm-mm. It's like I come, I do my thing, we have some small talk.
We are going to bring my flat screen is going to go up here in the clubhouse. We're going to bring it up here so Grandpa can watch football. So I'm going to plug it in, set him up.
And that's Dalton's job to get the techie stuff going.
Set him up, and he's going to have a time. So that's how that's going to be.
Where are you guys? What are you guys doing? What's your favorite? What is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Okay, my favorite ever. You know this.
Okay.
Give you a guess.
Is it the homemade chicken and noodles?
No. I can't have it anymore. That's a hint.
The mashed potatoes.
No.
I don't know.
Green bean casserole.
Oh, that's right.
Favorite.
Yeah, that's right.
And I can't have it anymore because I'm dairy free, and we can't. The recipe for a dairy and gluten free casserole is literally like 900 steps, and I obviously can't even buy an electric whisk to whisk a no bake chocolate pie. So I'm not going to be making. It's just too much work.
Yeah.
But I miss that. That's my
and the sad part is that's on the list of things to make, but you can't have it. Wow, Mom of the Year award goes to not Debbie.
It blows my mind because I asked for it for Christmas too. I used to ask for it for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, maybe I just blocked that out because she can't have it anymore. Yeah. So I don't remember that. What's your new favorite thing that you can eat?
Probably the chicken and noodles.
And then because they're gluten free, because she's also gluten free. So I made those last night before I came.
Or deviled eggs.
Now deviled eggs.
Or yams.
Now, Mom is bringing that.
Yes.
She buys the fresh and then she cleans them and peels. They're so good the way she makes them with the butter and the.
Oh crap! She makes it with butter.
You might not be able to have hers. Sorry.
We're
there goes the Mom of the Year award again. Darn it! I had it right here. All right. So Tori and I were also just talking about how certain things in life can make you understand what you have and what you're thankful for. And it's so crazy. I saw a TikTok of a lady talking about the fact that she was so mean to her mom, not on purpose, but she was a teenager and mean, and her mom I think her mom died at 62 years old, and she was, in her early 20s. And it does, like, for me, when I'm really thinking about what I have to be thankful for, what a blessing that I can have my parents still with me. Mm-hmm. And also that my daughter is now in her 20s and she gets to, and Dalton too. I mean, it's not all about all girls club here, mm-hmm. but that we all get to know, they get to know my parents as adults too. And they'll always have these amazing memories with them. And for me, I feel like it's so crazy because, like, what I thought of my mom, and I've always thought a lot of her, but our relationship through different seasons of life has definitely evolved. And so I'm just feel so grateful that I realize what a badass she is. Like, I just thought all moms do this and do that. And then when I'm in the role of a parent and then I have adult children, it's not easy. And she did it with such grace and ease. And I'm just, and Dad too, he was such a support system of her. And he was like always the quiet, calm presence in the house. And Mom was always action packed, but she got stuff done. She's a mover and a shaker.
Yeah. I will say, to bounce off of that, I think that I'm throwing mom under the bus.
Oh, goody.
Right now.
Can't wait.
So I obviously am going to be the first one in our little group of family that's gone on to graduate school and been in graduate school. Mm-hmm. And I think that when you say like you've gotten to know your mom as an adult,
yeah,
and you've seen more, I've had the luxury of going to school with people and seeing a whole bunch of different backgrounds and being able to
Joe, go away. Tori, you are such a great daughter. Spending time with a mother that doesn't even know what you like to eat. You're a saint.
Oh God. You know what? She knows what I want to eat before I know. That's how good she is.
Oh, nice comeback.
So I have the luxury of getting to know people, so many groups, different types of families, and learning about it at a young age and seeing how lucky I am. So I feel like I had a fast track of getting to know you as an adult just because I'm knowing mm-hmm. other people and their families and their dynamic. And I can be like, because my grandma, Kay, talking about her, the one's coming up, Kay, Carla.
My mom, you call her Carla too. She's like, you call me grandma.
Every time she would say to me when I was in high school or even in undergrad, because I was still kind of in a little bubble in undergrad as well, she would say, you were so lucky to have your mom. You're so lucky. You have the greatest parents. And I'm like, yeah, I know they're great. Now that I'm like out as an adult, out in the world, seeing mm-hmm. more, learning more, I really have a rare, amazing family, an amazing support system that I didn't realize that I had. And thank God I realized it before one of my parents gone.
What are you trying to say?
I was trying to say it delicately, but I mean,
before they croaked, I'm so glad I know that they're pretty cool.
So, and my grandparents as well. So I think that
that's true.
I think that I was going to say throwing you under the bus. You went
mm-hmm.
and got an associate's degree,
mm-hmm.
and you didn't leave. You haven't really left Chillicothe.
I didn't live permanently anywhere except where I'm from.
Yeah, and that's crazy to me too, because I think I'm this little baby still. I'm like her little baby. I know absolutely nothing. And then I think I've lived more places than you've lived.
You're not permanent residency though.
No, but I mean, it's just crazy.
But I mean, you are here permanently. I mean, this is your place now. So one outside of, you can't count Youngstown because that was just.
It was a year though. I lived there. I had a bed there. I slept there every night.
But the other part of this is you and I bumped heads a lot when you lived at home and you were growing up.
Yeah.
It's probably started right around 13.
I think it's also hard for parents, probably, I'm going to assume here, you can interrupt me if I'm wrong. It's probably hard for parents to transition into how to talk to their kids when they're older, especially when you have a parent. My mom was with me 24/7 when I was a kid. She parented me very well, but she parented me. Mm-hmm. And now being an adult, there are times where I'm like, she has grown so much as a mom, and it's hard because Dalton really didn't have a lot of pushback with you with like decisions. Like he would let mom make decisions for him because it's easier for him.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm stubborn. I'm hard-headed. I want to do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. That's been hard for you.
Well,
it's to transition and to be like, you know what? She's going to do what she's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to wreck or she's going to be fine. And it'll be okay. She can't parent me anymore. She knows that. So now she has to parent me. You have to.
I will continue to parent, but with less input. I have to let you. And that has been difficult for me because even in life in general lately, like over the last few years, I've learned a lot about myself that, I like things to be a certain way. And I guess it's control issues, if you want to put it completely bluntly, where I want that I'm going to make this happen. In life, we're really not in control of as much as we think we are.
And I'm the same way. I like control. I thought we were so different talking about when I was growing up, 13, 14, 15, even into high school, I was like, we are so different. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, I've talked about this on the podcast before. I would say to myself, I'm not an extrovert. I'm an introvert. I like to be at home. I'm an extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
I like people.
But what I've learned about myself though, is I'm an extrovert in small doses.
Yeah.
I need my alone
but my
time.
point is, I used to say I didn't think I was like you at all.
Yeah.
I thought, but we butt heads. Because we are because we both like to control. We both like to be in the driver's seat. And when we're not, it's uncomfortable and we bump heads.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom. And even today, we had a conversation up here today when we were eating lunch. And there are times where she says things and then I'm like, see, that's not
productive.
I don't like that. I have seen the growth in her because she was like, you know what? I had something to say, but I'm not going to say it. It's not productive. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you for not saying it. She goes, but I have this to say. And usually when I open up and I talk to her, that's her invitation. And she knows that already for me to say, what do you think? Because if I did,
but I do need to remember that there are times that people want to talk, but they don't want to hear you talk. So I've tried to be better about, is this you just, giving it to me and want me to listen? Or is there going to be advice given here? And sometimes I don't have good advice. And if I don't have good advice, I'll just say, I'm not really sure what to do about this. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. Because, a lot of the things that she's going through, I haven't really experienced. Like with law school, I've never been to law school. But I can certainly.
She's never been, and another thing that's different is you've never been single in your 20s living alone.
Right.
That's scary because I've always looked to my mom for everything, for all the advice. Now I'm more so looking towards friends, closer friends, to be like, I am lost. And you have wisdom of just living life. But my friends that I have up here know exactly the feeling I'm feeling because they are currently feeling it or have felt it. And I think that another thing is, I think that for you, I've gotten better at saying I don't want advice. I've said that. I've communicated I don't want advice.
That's really good for me to hear that. Like, because if she doesn't say that, most generally I'll tell her what I think.
I don't want advice. I just want you to sit here and listen. Yeah. And I think another thing is she's gotten really good at reading me. I'm not that hard to read. Yeah. I don't know if anybody you see the expression on my face and you're like, she's not happy. She's confused. She's not,
Bob. Bob. We love you, Bob.
I've gotten good at letting you know without even saying I'm upset. Last week, I had a mock trial competition and I had an emotional time that week. And I have a really good defense mechanism of, I call it open, like there's open tabs in my brain, but there's only one focus right now. And there's tabs running in the back.
Hey, Zena.
So during my mock trial competition and into that Friday night later, I had tabs running, but I wasn't letting it fully sink in. But hey,
Julie.
She said, you said, you're really first of all, my mom's very blunt with me and I'm very blunt with everybody else because I've learned to be blunt and I need to work on that. But she was like, you're really being a little bit of a bitch right now. What's going on? And
but you didn't tell me.
I didn't because I was.
But I could tell. I'm like, what's going on? Like, this is so fun. Like, you're doing this. And then I thought, well, maybe it's just the pressure of the mock trial.
I was irritated. I was just like, you know that feeling where you're just like, there's stuff in your head that you're just. So, but you've gotten really good at reading. She's pissed off. Something's going on. Yeah. And to lay off as a parent and be more of a friend in the moment and be like, okay, what is she doing? What is she needing? And I think that's really good for me because I can shut down like that when things are going on and then you start to parent me. I'm like, oh my gosh, can't take it. There's too much. So you've gotten really good at that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm really proud of you because it's easier it's our relationship being like growing and being healthier. And I think that not a lot of moms and daughters get to do that.
Yeah.
Get the opportunity to do that, because even though we butt heads.
Well, I want to be better. I want to always have a good relationship with you.
And I could be less of a
daughter.
biatch sometimes. I could be less of, I'm very nervy. I would say I'm an emotional human being. And it was funny.
I am too, though.
It's funny because
I just don't get it. You know, I'm emotional, but you can sometimes get angry. And don't let her miss a meal, for the love. It's worse than any dude I've ever known in my entire life. If she's hungry, and they say hangry, and I'm like, there has to be a bigger word than hangry, because she was driving us after mock trial, and she had her best friend with her too, and I was so nervous in the car because she was hungry and she wanted to get where we were going for dinner, the Ave. And I was like, I just want to get there. You're making me nervous. And she was like road rage. I was like, what is going on? I felt sorry for Cassidy, because I was like,
she does what normally people do. You just don't. They're not. I don't normally act like that unless I'm around people that I'm comfortable with. But I was just like, I was cussing up a storm. I was like, these mother, like, get out of my way. And
we're like, wow, this is a nice drive to dinner. I can't wait to see what dinner entails.
It was only nuts. The park. I got some bread in me, and I was good.
Some gluten-free bread. Yeah. Hangry, yes. Believe in yourself. Hey, how you doing, Robert? Yeah, it's
I was in the red. I call it in the red. I get in the red, and then it's bad. I see red. I'm in the red. I'm hungry, but it's because I was hungry and I was tired. That's the difference. And I had tabs running. I was discombobulated. I was like, okay, I just need to get.
But just think. So I told her. So the mock trial was really an amazing experience for me to be invited to go and to be actually able to go sit in the courtroom and watch she and her team of amazing, and the people that they were up against, the law school they were up against, were amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I had to remind myself it wasn't real a couple times, because it's just like, it's set up in the courtroom and it's happening, and that, they have to, it just was amazing. It was amazing. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for asking, Debbie. Oh, good to see you. So it was just incredible. And she did amazing, and her team did. And then they ended up getting third overall with all the law schools that were there. And her best friend took the award for best witness. And she's an incredible human being, by the way. And
I had a question for you about this.
Oh, good. What is it?
So at any point in you sitting there seeing it, were you thinking to yourself, like, this is what I'm like, my daughter's going to do? Isn't that weird?
It is. It was weird for me as soon as I showed up to the courthouse and I was like, okay, I'm here. And you came down to get me. I was like, this is what, it is. I was like, this is so weird that I'm waiting on my daughter down here to come and get me. And she was going to introduce me to the judge and all the people that work there, then plus her team. And when we walked into that courtroom, I was just like, first of all, I thought, how is this happening? You're 12. And then in my brain, and that's also goes back to sometimes when I just immediately go into parent mode instead of just relax and you've got it figured out. But then the other thing that happened is, as I was sitting there, it was so well done and you were so well spoken and commanded your space. And when you had someone coming at you, I was like, and then I thought, Debbie, this isn't real. Calm down. This is mock trial. And I had to remind myself, and I thought, I'm going to have to learn how to not be offended. And you too, like when you're in the courtroom and another lawyer's, objecting to you and all of that, you got to be able to keep your cool. You can't be like you were in the car on the way to dinner. Yeah. Right. You got to be composed.
I just wondered about that because that would be weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is, it's crazy because I'm so lucky that I am healthy and I'm still here and I'm able to watch my kids go and do all these different things. And I'm able to be present and see them through their chapters of life. And also part of what makes me emotional, I think about that lady talking about losing her mom, because she now knows as an adult woman her mom was just figuring it out too.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, I saw something, I think it was on TikTok a while ago, that was like, be easier on your parents. It's their first time through life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their
Amen
first
to
time doing it too.
Amen to that, girl.
Yeah. So I just wondered about that because as a mom, that would be weird.
Yeah,
And it's the first time she's coming into a space. Like, I'm at the courthouse all the time. I work for a common pleas judge and I'm there all the time. I'm seeing all these things all the time. I'm in school. I'm so in it that sometimes I wonder how it feels to you because as a mom, you haven't seen, I was never passionate about business marketing in undergrad. I never was like, Mom, come to this event.
No, never.
I always knew I would be an attorney. So I never got excited because it didn't excite me. I always got excited about being an attorney. So you coming into my space of what I love now.
And it's completely foreign to me. This is something that is so foreign to me that I'm learning things and seeing things through your eyes.
Yeah. And I think all of our family is talking about my grandparents. Something that, I love about my grandparents, especially my grandpa, is he always asks questions. And he's a very good listener. Obviously, he had to be because he had 3 daughters and a wife. He was outnumbered. So he had to be a good listener. But
he didn't have to be. He just is.
He asked me I forget that I tell them things, and I tell them that I'm working at a common pleas courthouse with a judge, and I said, he asked me just out of the blue one time when I was over visiting, what does the judge think about abortion? So he was asking about issue 1, and he was asking what the judge thought and everything, and what did the judge rule on this week? What are you doing? And he really is interested because they see how
passionate
I am, and it's a profession I'm going into that nobody really in my family knows about. Nobody was an attorney. Nobody pursued law, and it's just interesting sharing that with them as well and my grandma is always the first one to say, we're going to need an attorney. We're going to have an attorney in the family. And you always hear about that. Like, people in law school, they talk about it constantly. They're like, you're going to have people calling you up in the middle of the night being like, hypothetically, if I hit a pole and,
Yeah. But it's almost,
that happens to me constantly.
And I remember when you were at Ohio State, though, my dad loves Ohio State. So he was always, and he knows the history of Ohio State, and he knows all the buildings and all that. And he would always ask you questions about remember when you first went there, they were redoing the what's that called? I can't even remember now. It's on High Street. I always would pick you up in the back. And he would ask, he knew about everything that was being rebuilt, and he would always be involved in that. And he's like that with Dalton too, with psychology. But he would always say, that kid, he's a deep thinker about Dalton.
He also, and I'm really excited for him to see, he said, I called him a couple days ago, and I said, are you excited about Thanksgiving? He's like, yeah. He said, I'm excited to see where the poor people live. Because my mom always says, oh, she lives in this beautiful apartment complex, So he makes a joke that he's excited to see where the poor people live. And I'm like, Grandpa.
He's gonna love it here.
There's a good view. He loves a good view.
Yeah.
He'll be very quiet for the first hour, I think. He'll be taking it all in. So
I love that about him. He's very observant. And like you said, he's a great listener, and if he asks you a question, it's thought out. He doesn't just talk to be talking. So he's has a lot of forethought and a thoughtful person.
Yeah, I'm excited for them.
I'm
really
too.
Am.
So
and Bambi's coming up.
A
little pickle, little girl. She's coming up.
Yeah. So if you guys did anybody tell us what their favorite foods are for Thanksgiving? If I should be making something. Oh, Queenie's on here to see you.
Listen, if anybody needs pictures taken, headshots for anything really, I post a ton of pictures that Queenie takes of me.
Yeah.
On
Queen
my
what's it
Instagram.
under on Instagram? I can't
it's
remember.
QF Queenie. Wait, drop it, Queenie. I know.
Drop it. Drop where we can find you.
It's QF Photography on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken.
But her real name is Queenie, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her real name is Queenie.
But hopefully she'll type it in there so you guys can see it.
Inside and out.
But she does such an amazing job. So I'm trying to get her more photography jobs because
she's an engineer. Like she's brilliant.
Yes,
That's not how we find you, Queenie. It's not on ha ha ha. She probably doesn't need any more work, but she's an engineer, like a brilliant mind, a beautiful person. She did some marketing photos for me too, and I'll have to be hitting you up again, Queenie, soon. But speaking of my business, I'm wearing some new jewelry that I haven't even posted. Thank you. QMF. Now, when you bang on that, it's probably really loud.
Sorry.
QMF Photography. You can find her on Instagram, and she is Columbus area.
Yes.
But she's amazing, and I haven't even loaded the new jewelry yet. Good evening, beautiful ladies. Well, Ted, we like the way you're talking. How you doing, Ted? Hi, Trisha. I'm so excited Kay and Marvin are spending Thanksgiving at Tori's with you all. What fun and exciting times for you. Trisha, yes. So here's a funny little story. Do you even know this?
She's living next door.
She lives in Oklahoma, but her parents live in Chillicothe. So the house went for sale next to me. She bought it sight unseen from Oklahoma to have a house. So when she comes to Chillicothe to be with her family, that's her place of residence. So I put welcome home in little stakes. I bought these little signs for her yard. And then you didn't see this, but a picture of she and I was probably 6, she was 5. We were holding hands by a blow up swimming pool in my backyard. And I printed it out 8.5 by 11 and put it on her front door and we're neighbors again. We grew up on the same street together. That's and so now she has the house next to me.
That is adorable.
It is so adorable. So I put the picture on there. She was excited.
I have to come over. We have to have like a little wine night or something.
Yes, we will. Having a great end to the year business wise.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. So my business launched in October and I'm feeling it. It's going really well. It's steady, but it's not like, wow, I'm so busy. So, I mean, I am busy. I'm talking about sales. So I think I have 9 or 10 outside states who have ordered from me. So blessings there. But I am wearing some new jewelry. So is Tori. But it came in right before I left town. So I don't have it launched in the system yet, but some really pretty things.
A little heart and some chains.
And some new clothes that I'll be launching. And I'm going to do some markdowns for Black Friday. So Studio 11 style, please get the app. Then that way, every time I make markdowns or I go live or I do anything like that, you'll get notified that I have new things in stock and all of that. Studio 11, the number, style. The app is on Android and, oh, thanks, Lynn. But that's not what the app looks like. The app just looks gold and black, and it's just the number 11. So I should show that, actually. It's just the number 11 in black and gold. But on your Apple or Android, Studio 11 style, the number. Download the app, please. And thank you.
Here's the thing. I want to bring it back to
bring it back
serious, but also with this, I know we talked about you're starting your business and trusting in yourself and starting it.
Yeah.
One thing that I feel like I cannot get through my noggin about life is to trust in God and trust in the path that you're picking for yourself. And I think that's been kind of difficult for you business wise.
Right.
I think you've always been really solid in trusting in God in other ways. And I think that I've struggled a lot lately. We talked about control earlier. It brings it back. Being somebody who I've been so in control of my life up to this point that being out of control feels foreign to me. So,
Trisha, Tori, I left the stuff up that your mom did to the house so my family could see it. So excited to come home.
Nice. Aww. I want to see it. You got to make sure.
I have pictures and a video. I'll show it to you.
So for me, I've talked about this a million times, especially on here, being out of control of my life in the past 3 years since I've been in law school really has been tumultuous to say the least. And I think back at times where I'm like, is this the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing, and I'm trying to trust myself, but also trusting in God and saying, what's going to happen. You have a greater plan for me in moving forward. I still have so much trouble doing that, letting that go, letting things go, letting him take it, letting him, because Cassidy's been really good, a good friend to me, teaching me that and being like, Tori, you got to let it go. Once you let it go, cast it out to him and leave it there. It's very hard for me because I want to reel that baby back in because I'm wanting to control it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I sometimes think back on when I'm thinking about, I want to control this, I want to do this, I want this to be my life, is when I got, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, that rejection letter from Ohio State's law school. And when it was in my mailbox at my old apartment that summer before I went to law school, that spring before graduation.
Right. It was before.
And that sticky note that said "fuck Mords." Excuse my language, my French.
But
and
someone wrote that.
Somebody wrote that and stuck that on there. And I was like, it made me feel good for a second because I'm like, that's funny, because I was pissed. But at the time, before I went to law school, I was so dead set. I would say to everybody in my life, if I'm not getting into Ohio State, I'm leaving this state. I'm not staying here. Like, I want to either go to Wake Forest, which if I didn't get into Ohio State, what makes you think I'm going to get into Wake Forest? But anyways, anywhere, Charleston, I got into Charleston. I'm like, maybe I'll go to the beach. Yeah. So Pitt and everything. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. And it was a while before I even missed the deadline to get like the deal to seal my seat. I was like the last wave of accepted students at Capitol. And I was going into my first year of law school. I said, I'm transferring. After this year, I'm transferring. I told you that.
I know.
I said, I'm transferring out of this place. Like, I'm not staying here. I'm going to go. So I don't know why I was so dead set. Jesus Christ was laughing at me that entire time, because if I wouldn't have stayed at Capitol, I wouldn't have had the people in my life that I would have had. I've lost some people. That is true. I've gained so much more. And I don't know what I would have gained at Ohio State. I don't know what I would have gained at Charleston or Pittsburgh or any of those places. I don't know what I would have gained, but I wouldn't trade what I've gained now for anything. I even into this year of law school. Oh yeah.
That's it. Oh, thanks, Lynn. That's it.
She screen grabbed it. Even into this year of law school.
Yeah.
The friends I've gained from this, like, I have a big group of girlfriends that I've never had before.
And even before you met all of those people, when you you were like, I'm going to transfer after the first year, blah, blah, blah.
I went to the orientation. It was like, and I went alone. Usually at the time I would have taken the person I was with to wherever I would go, but I went alone to orientation, like the community day that we had. And there was a sense of peace. And I called Mom right after I got, and I said,
And the dean had said a lot of things that resonated with you.
I said,
and you felt like he was talking right to you.
Yeah, I said, I think I'm going to stay. I think you were kind of like, okay.
What happened?
You just 180 flipped on me. 360 flipped on me, whatever. I'm not a mathematician or anything.
Well, you don't have to know all that stuff. You're in law school.
Well, that's right. But yeah.
Poo-poo on the math.
So I say that all to say, I still have trouble trusting in God, knowing that he had a bigger plan for me way back then. With the beginning of my life, obviously, but like way back then to where I am now, it's still so hard for me to say, okay, this isn't working. This doesn't feel right. I'm letting it go. I still want to hold on to that and say, this is what I want right now. This is selfishly and for my plan. What I want, I don't care what God says. I want this. And it'll always not. It backfires every time. So I wouldn't trade the life I'm living for anything. But I will say that it's still a little difficult.
Well, and we've talked about this before about emotional issues and the anxiety that you've had and the things that you've worked through and that still creep up sometimes. And just knowing in those moments where you're really sad and there's anxiety happening and you can find your way through it.
Yeah. I want to shout out my girlfriends. I know I do this all the time. I always shout out
I'm
Cass.
fine with whatever.
I always shout out Cassidy. She gets so tired of me bragging on her. She's amazing. Shout out Cassidy, Kristen. I feel like I'm on a game show. Like, who do you want to say hi to today? I feel like,
and you're the next contestant on The Price is
the
Right.
girls that I've built a relationship with this year very recently. I've never had a really good group of girls. And I've always you have from high school. Like I'm talking about high school all the way through to your
grow
adult
up.
life.
Trisha and I grew up. We were 4 and 5 years old.
Oh my
hanging
gosh,
out.
I've always wanted that. I've always yearned for a group of girls that I could we can be girls, and we can be, and that term is so everybody's like, ugh, but you know what? I'm telling you, the group of girls that I have met, especially this fall, and Haley Adams, my babies.
Well, you didn't say Kristen.
Yes, I said Kristen.
Oh, Kristen, we want to leave her out.
Haley. Literally, you lost me on my train of thought. She introduced me to her group of girlfriends, and I've never felt more welcomed in a group of girls ever. And I love every single one of them. They are so special in their own ways. It's hilarious. It's like putting different. It's weird. We're all different, but we all kind of mesh.
You know what? When you get into a play, and I told you years ago, I said, Tori, sometimes you don't meet your best friends until later in life when you really pick them. Mm-hmm. If you're growing up, you're in the same class, you're at the same, they went to parochial schools, private schools, so you're with all the same people, and she loves them too.
Yeah.
She loves them too. But as you get older and then now you're in law school and basically all of the same, you kind of all have the same mindset too.
And another thing is, before we let you go, I know we're talking your ear off tonight and we didn't even have a topic. What if we would have had one?
You should hear us laying in her bed talking until one of us.
One thing that's very weird that happens. Kismet. I don't know if Julie Preston is still on here. Is Julie Preston on here? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think she just said hi and left.
Okay, well, if Julie is here, this is for her daughter, Emily, and we grew up together. And she went to Washington, D.C. for undergrad. I went to Youngstown for a year, then Ohio State. And we lost touch, and we ran in different circles towards the end of high school. And then we came back together for law school. Now we've grown up a lot, and coming back together and meeting each other as adults, way different. I didn't.
It is way different.
It is way different. Yeah. So meeting her is like meeting a different, for her, probably she'll probably think for me too. Our dogs have play dates. They love each other. Augie and Omi. So that's also very cool. And it's like God's playing up there. He's doing his own thing. But I will say, like I said, I wouldn't change my path for anything, just purely for the people I've met and the relationships that I've built. And you saying, I don't want to forget to say this, you don't meet your people till you're ready as a person. Mm-hmm. Treating it kind of like a romantic relationship in the same way. I definitely was not ready to be a cheerleader for my friends at a younger age. I think that I'm sensitive. I'm very self-aware. I'm sensitive. Sometimes I take things the wrong way. I internalize things. It's anxiety, all of that. Mm-hmm. I think I'm to the place where I love hyping up my ladies. I'm always there for them no matter what. I'm there in a split second. And I don't think I could have done that before. And now I'm like, whoop, I'm a hype man.
Yeah, that's so good. And I love to hear that. That means you're growing as a person. When you're able to be happy for other people genuinely and cheer for others, it just is a happier place. I love it.
She's going to cry and then we're going to go, cut.
I love that. So I think we've said enough. And I think
I want to get a closer shot of my necklace.
Okay. That one is, and it's 3 layers. It's all one. It's all one. And so is mine. You know what? Mine's the butterfly. Remember the herringbones were really in style in the 80s? Any of you 80s ladies on here? And it's not even on there. I haven't even put the jewelry on there yet. So,
Not
but
yet.
it will be. Maybe by tonight. Maybe by tonight. I need to get. I've been cooking in a big pot.
No,
All
she
right.
hasn't been. She didn't cook the pie.
Yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I had.
Can we make the deviled eggs tonight so I can have
I already
some?
did them. All I have to do is put the stuff together.
I have a hankering for a deviled egg. Right
Oh, Lordy. Here we go. We got the tree in the back. We're all getting ready. You know what we're going to do? We're going to say good night to you guys and happy Thanksgiving. And I sure hope everybody is in a warm home, gets a warm meal, and are with people that they love. And you feel super grateful, thankful for what you have. And, you know, just like what Tori was talking about, she can look at her past and be bitter about it, or she can learn from it and grow and be a hype lady now. And that's what she's doing. So we can all do the same thing. Love you guys. Everybody who's on here and comes and sees us live, like, that's amazing. I appreciate you. And Tori does too. Mm-hmm. So, all right, we're peace out.
Deuces.
Deuce.
That floats around me, keeping me